Welcome to this monthly roundup from geeksubscriptionbox.com. I thought it'd be fun to pick out some of my favourite items from March 2015 to show you what I really like from all of the different boxes. And there's no prize for guessing what, you can see them laid out here. But these are the 6 different boxes that arrived in March 2015. Unfortunately, a couple of the boxes seem to be taking an eternity. I sort of up to about 3 weeks now and counting to wing their way across from the States. So much as I'd like us to have Geek Fuel and Loot Crate here to compare as well, we haven't got them. But let's have a look at what else we have. So across the top, there's the Nerd Block series of boxes, starting with Horror Block, Arcade Block, and Nerd Block itself. And then here in the second row, we've got really what are all UK boxes. We've got Super Loot, Infinity Crates, it's the one with the most boring box, and the Z box from Zavi. So what kind of items have I picked out? Well, from Horror Block, I think my favourite item is the Rue Morgue magazine, and it's because it's always great to get to read another magazine which you wouldn't otherwise get to see in the UK. This is a Canadian magazine. There's lots of interesting articles in there. It's going to go on a journey with me to read properly and to go through. And magazines, I think, really add value to boxes, so I'd like to see more of them. What about in the Arcade Block? This was probably my favourite box of the month in terms of how well selected and put together the contents were. Well, I picked out 2 items. The first one is the stress controller, which is there, a bit like a stress ball really. You give it a good squeeze, comes in handy. And also this set of post-it notes. These get used all the time in a really convenient format, looking rather like a Game Boy book. I don't know if these are exclusive for the Arcade Block, but really useful, and I think that collection could be filled up again afterwards. What about Nerd Block? There were some items in here that weren't brilliant, but otherwise it was pretty good. And this is the Nerd Block Nerd Do Well. It's a book I've been meaning to read. It's there waiting for me. This one will also be going on journeys with me to get read through, so I'm quite looking forward to find out more about Simon Pegg's journey. That word journey appears all over, doesn't it? What about the UK boxes? Well, here we've got Super Loot. The best visual design, I think, of all the UK boxes, and I really like the Mario lanyard. It's colourful, has a lot of the best Mario characters in, the ones you remember from the very traditional early days. So this is great. I also like the t-shirt as well, the Mario one, which went with this box as well, which was the Get a Life mushroom. And what about Infinity Crates? I'll just remind you the box here is really nothing special as it opens up. It did have the benefit of the pop figure in there, so quite a good amount of value there. But I like the TARDIS t-shirt. I just like the simple blue design, works really well. So that was probably the best of the lower price t-shirts from the UK boxes of the month. And finally the Zavi box. Well, this is more a novelty type item box really. The theme for this box was retro. And I've picked up the Sonic socks. They're going to soon be taken out of that wrapping. Now I've about wrapped up for the month to be worn. And also the Build Your Own Pac-Man. As someone who's always enjoyed Lego, these are particularly micro bricks or pixel bricks. That's going to be a lot of fun to build. And so I think those items really sum up what I've thought about these different Geek subscription boxes for the month of March 2015. Some really nice items. There are some excellent items in there as well, some of which will be used, some of which will become gifts. One thing I've found about subscribing to these boxes is a really great way of getting gifts for family, gifts for friends, particularly friends of mine who I know now have small children as well, who really enjoy some of these things, and it saves so much hassle and thought and provides something quite new and unusual that there's probably not much chance I've seen before, particularly with these imported items for people who live in the UK won't have seen. So a really bumper selection of goodies for March 2015. I hope you like my picks, and particularly I appreciate all these items from all these different box vendors. Hope to see you for more next month.